When the world sees a crisis and suggests ending a story, what happens if we see a person instead? My name is Hadija, and today we discuss the radical bravery of choosing life when the math doesn't add up. Hi, Josephine.
Hi, Abby.
How have you been?
Doing amazing.
Yeah, that is so great. So today we are discussing choosing life against the odds. And when we say choosing life against the odds, what do you think these odds are today?
Today, what the odds are to me, there are the difficulties. We hear so many stories of people having abortions because of several different difficulties, and now we want to talk about choosing life against even amidst those difficulties. And some of them are financial struggles, conceiving out of rape or incest, school, someone conceives when they are still in school, they are still young, like you're 13. We have when the mother's health is in danger. Yes.
Okay. So you talked about someone conceiving and then like they're looking at the financial constraints and they feel like maybe they can't continue the pregnancy. Josephine, we've seen people that have conceived and then like they have their reasons as to why they want to abort, and then in most cases one of the reasons may be circumstances or lack of support. But then, according to you, do you think that abortion decisions are driven more by circumstances or lack of support?
Both. And why it's both? People who have had abortions, many of them, like, they have their reasons. Yes, nobody just wakes up one day and they say, I'll go have sex, conceive, get married. Sorry, have an abortion.
Without a reason.
Yes, they always have their reasons and they are valid when you look into them. But to a larger extent, I think it is lack of support. Because when someone has these circumstances they are going through, but then they are people or someone that they can confide in, ask for advice, someone that is willing to walk with them this journey, they are most likely to change their mind. Yeah, the few women I've interacted with that had abortions, they regretted. They were like, I wish I met someone that talked me out of this. I just wish I had someone by my side. So however much both lack of support and circumstances play a part, mostly it is the lack of support.
Lack of support. I believe you. So when you try talking to some people that are contemplating on having abortions, sometimes the main reason they give you is, I can't sustain myself with the baby, I can't take care of the baby, I feel like I'm not yet ready for the responsibility, and this adds up to poverty. So is poverty really a reason to end life, or it is a signal that more support is actually needed?
Yes, the latter. It's a signal more support is needed. Poverty is real. and it is overwhelming. Raising a child is not easy.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, if you're broke and you have children, it's hard. But poverty shouldn't be the reason as to why you end the life. Because even when you end this life, if you're not empowered, if you don't know how to manage finances, if you're not working, you're not earning, nothing will change.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to continue to struggle, even you as a person. Like I told you, I wanted to have an abortion, and one of my primary reasons was I was still in school and broke. I was struggling to make ends meet. Some nights you sleep hungry. And then I'm like, how do I bring a child into this kind of life? Like, they would just suffer. But I'm glad that I found people that helped me see life in a different angle. And there are so many people out there who ended the lives of their children, but because they were not educated in the financial area, they are not empowered. They don't know how to manage money. They don't know how to create other sources of income. They are still struggling. They are still in that situation of finding what to eat and all that. Yet on the other hand, there are people who kept their children, but because of the empowerment and support, they make good decisions and they are thriving with their kids, even financially. Yeah.
So meaning this should give us a signal that these people just need support. They just need people around them, people to empower them so that they make the right choices.
Yes.
Thank you so much. When we culturally, when someone conceives out of incest, it is wrong. And sometimes when someone conceives out of rape, they feel like they shouldn't bring this life to the world, maybe because of the trauma they are going through and all that. So how do you think we should approach pregnancies from rape and incest in a way that centers passion without simplifying what they are going through? Because when someone is raped, they're already going through a certain trauma, and then like when they find themselves pregnant, it is also something else. So how do we approach this situation?
Wow, rape and incest are very sensitive topics, should I say. When a girl is raped, maybe she's still young, it is very traumatic, I can imagine. So how we approach that with passion is, number one, try to understand, because also how our system is, things are so messy. Our children get raped and then we judge them. Some parents beat their children when they come up and tell them that maybe my uncle raped me. They're like, you should never say it. I shouldn't hear it anywhere. Like I don't know if they just don't believe their children or they are trying to.
Sometimes they're trying to protect their relationship with their relatives.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and they go hand in hand. Most of our young teenage mothers, they are raped by their relatives. Sometimes they are half siblings. We've heard about these things. So as being careful to listen to these mothers without judging them, and also acknowledge that what they are going through is very difficult, is very important. But then you hear people advise these mothers that they should go for abortions, maybe because they are still young, they can't be a mother, or them growing up raising this child is going to add on their trauma. Every time they see this child, they are going to get annoyed, they'll beat these children, and at the end of the day it's not good for the child, and it's even now trauma from generation to generation, which I totally understand. But as we talked about support, these mothers, all they need is love, encouragement, and support. Everything that is good we can offer them. Rescue them from these environments where they faced these challenges, and then encourage them to grow the pregnancy. If they don't want to raise the child, they can give them up for adoption or fostering. And for us here in Uganda, adoption is not a common thing, but fostering, like many of us have grown up from different relatives, you understand. And then also make sure this lady gets counseling, preferably professional counseling, to work with counselors that are specialized in those cases so that they can heal, because it's a very serious thing, like it's very traumatic. But then having an abortion won't, if this lady doesn't get support, this trauma is not going to end because she has had an abortion. Okay. Rather, it will just add on it, because now you have these issues from the rape, and now these other things that come with abortion, because abortion is not normal, whether what, because it involves the life of a human being. That's why, like, it's so hard to understand. There is that guilt that comes with intentionally killing an innocent human being.
Yeah, one thing that stood out for me in your submission was getting these ladies or young girls or whoever is going through this from did you say the environments that the things happened from, and then like taking them to safer places where they feel safe, not judged, and then where they feel loved, supported. Yeah, because for example, has gotten pregnant out of incest, it is really a hard experience for them, because culturally most people feel like this baby is a curse. So if we get them from these environments and put them to a safer place, I feel like it is the best way for them to carry on with their pregnancies, because they feel loved and cared for. Thank you so much.
And I'm so glad that there are organizations that are helping such people. Like just this week, early, I visited the Remnant Generation, and they are doing an amazing work with mothers that are sexually abused. Not even mothers, like girls, but then if you conceive, they support them like holistically, and those girls, they are happy, they are thriving, their children, you see the relationship they have with their children, and some even go back to school and they finish school, they have the school of purpose, like the girls are thriving. And now imagine someone, you just tell them have an abortion, and you think because they've terminated the pregnancy, everything has come to an end. You've not followed up, nothing, no counseling, no anything. Those people, they are going to stay in that traumatic state for, who knows, maybe even forever, as long as they've not gotten help.
Yeah, you're right. You talked about Remnant Generation, and I felt it is so important to give a shout out to the organizations that are doing a great job with helping the mothers that are going through trauma, that have been through trauma, pregnant mothers that need support. You talked about Remnant Generations. We have Youth for Christ. We have Wakisa Ministries and other organizations that are doing a great job. Thank you so much for whatever you're doing for the young girls. May God richly bless you so much.
And there are people that are also doing this. They are not attached to any organization.
Yeah, but they are doing it
yes.
personally.
So we are very
Yeah, thank you so much for whatever you're doing for these ladies, because they really need people that support them, people that love them genuinely, and people that are willing to support them without judging them. Yeah. So, as Ismage Ministries, we are a pro-life organization that looks at defending the right to life of the mother and the unborn. But then, like when a mother is pregnant, there are some circumstances that come up. And so, as a pro-life advocate, Josephine, how do you approach situations where the mother's life is at risk?
So when the mother's life is at risk, it's really important to be, which word am I looking for? Smart, should I say, and informed. Because, yeah, we have issues we've had, cancer, preeclampsia or eclampsia itself, ectopic pregnancies, and these are things you hear whereby they tell the mother, like, yeah, you have to terminate the pregnancy or you're going to die. So in this case, it would be very unfortunate, but if the mother is pregnant and her health is in danger because of this baby that she's carrying, and one that makes sense to me the most is the ectopic pregnancy, because the baby is growing in the fallopian tube, but that's not where the baby is supposed to be growing from. The baby is supposed to be growing from the uterus. And no matter how much you want to keep this baby, if the baby doesn't get out of the fallopian tube, you too, you're going to lose your life. Okay. So instead of losing 2 lives, we rather lose one. Okay. Though some instances are really manageable, and that's why I said it's very important to be smart and informed. Now, like preeclampsia, that situation, like where a mother has like high blood pressure, as long as you look out for the symptoms like on time and you communicate, it is manageable. It can give you medicine that calm your pressure, tell you to be on bed rest. They are professionals, they know exactly what you can do. Yeah, rather than I'll just terminate the pregnancy because I'll die. Yeah.
So terminating the pregnancy in this case has to be backed up with a profession's advice, a doctor in this case.
Yeah, and preferably a pro-life, because if they are pro-choice, you never know. They might.
It is so hard to really know whether a doctor is pro-life or pro-choice, especially when you're in a situation when you feel like your life is ending.
Yes.
Yeah, you're sometimes desperate to save a life, and then so.
Yeah, you know why I said that? I've had mothers say, you know how pregnant women go for scans at 20 weeks. We usually call that an anomaly scan. And from that scan, they notice that maybe the baby has abnormalities. So they advise the mother to have an abortion. Depending on what they've seen and how they talk to the mother, your baby won't survive anyway, even if you give birth at like full term. They will be here for just a few hours and then they die. But then mothers that are like, no, I won't terminate the pregnancy, let me let the baby grow and let them die naturally. So they keep the pregnancy, they give birth. The babies come out normal. You get? So it's really complicated. So being smart and informed is what can help you as a person to make an informed decision. Yes.
I feel like this is a conversation that we at some point need to have with maybe a medical personnel present so that they can help us make more clarities on what situations, what circumstances or situations that will need the baby's life to be terminated, so that
they save the life of the mother.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for your submission, Josephine. And when you look at people go through different situations, a lot of challenges, and then how can compassion be expressed without crossing the line of ending life? This can be open even besides abortion, but in our day-to-day life, how can we express that compassion without crossing that line of saying that maybe if someone is pregnant, you need to terminate the pregnancy because of this and this and this and this?
There are so many ways we can be compassionate to these people without ending the lives of their children. Number one, offering our presence to these people. You let that person that you are not alone, no matter what, we are going to go through this together. Because it is complicated. You conceive, the boyfriend runs off. Sometimes you're married, you cheat, and you conceive. You're like, hey, there is no way.
Sometimes you conceive just a few months, you give birth to your baby. Maybe your baby is still 2 months, or when they're still young, and you feel like you're really not ready to have another baby.
So offering our presence to these people and be very open with them, tell them the information we know about abortion, because these things happen. You might not want to have another baby when your baby is 1 year old, because if you conceive again when your baby is 2 months, 3 months, by the time they make a year, you already have another one. And sometimes people bleed to death. There is a lady, this is one story that actually changed my mind when I was talking to the doctor that I had gone to asking about abortion. She told me this time, this lady was a married woman. She had a baby. The baby was 3 months. She conceived again. She can't have another baby. She's not ready. It's like she's going to have 2 babies at the same time. So she went for an abortion. Lady bled until she died. And the doctor is like, so now this lady, she wanted to have time for this baby. Give this baby the love and support that she needs. That's why she terminated this pregnancy. But she died, and the baby lost everything. The baby lost the mother, the father lost the wife. You understand? Yet actually, if she had decided to keep the baby with support, the outcomes would have been different. I know sometimes even some mothers die while giving birth, and it's the reality, but at least it's different, intentional killing and natural death, they are very different, and they come with different consequences. Yeah, so, and on top of our presence, everything we have, like if someone needs financial support and you have, give them, because we know it's difficult, most especially now for the scope we work for as His Ministries. Not actually, but the Good Samaritan. Yes, those women we meet in that criteria, they need emotional support, but they also need financial support. Offer the financial support and empower them, teach them how to fish so they can take good care of themselves and also their babies. Give them hope. Tell them like abortion is not the end. It's not a solution, and having a child is not the end. You can thrive with this child as long as you have support and community.
Thank you so much, Josephine. And it's been a conversation. As we conclude, I would love to encourage all of you that are viewing us. I don't know where you're watching us from, but we need to know that whatever situation we are going through as people, you need to know that there are other people that are willing to give you a hand. There are other people that are willing to give you a shoulder to lean on. There are people that are willing to stand with you. There are people that are willing to help you. If you are pregnant and you feel like you can't really continue with the pregnancy because of whatever circumstances you're going through, this is not the end of the world. It is not the end of it all. Reach out to people that can help you. Don't make that decision without inquiring from other people. Maybe by talking to people that can listen to you, you're able to make an informed decision. As His Ministries, we are here to advocate for life. We advocate for life. We believe that life begins in the womb. Life begins at fertilization, and we don't have the moral authority to end life. God gave us this life to appreciate it. God gave us this life to use it to glorify His name. So if you are in a situation and you feel like you can't do this, it is not the end of it all. Reach out to us and we can talk about this.